Woo! What is going on, everybody? Before we start anything, we just need to say a big ol' hello to my wife, whose art studio is on the other side of mine now. So leave a comment, hashtag sad for Gab, because I think we should all feel pretty bad for her. You have to listen to this every day now. So before we get rip-roaring on through this, make sure you check out my free guitar course, the Fretboard Decoder. It is linked right there for you, and of course tabs for this lesson are down below. Also, I just decided to add this. If you are not familiar with your pentatonic scale, I'm adding a separate tab down below that will have the 5 A minor pentatonic boxes for you, so you can kind of really see the layout of where a lot of these arpeggios are coming from. But we're talking about secret arpeggios hidden inside of the pentatonic scale. Now, if you are primarily a box player, you might not even realize that you are actually playing these arpeggios, but just having a little bit of this theory knowledge behind these chords that we're playing can make your solos and all improvising and writing so much more, I guess, like cohesive. Everything really is just gonna go together now. You can figure out, oh, when this chord's happening, I should be doing this. So we're gonna jump on into this one. Like I said, grab the tabs, all that good stuff, and let's go. All right, so let's dive on into this one. So we are starting out very simple with these. And the first one, and we're building into a much more complex arpeggio. That's why I put all the examples up there for you first. And I want to break it down exactly what's happening. So what we're doing here is we're hunting for A minor 7 arpeggios. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically just a chord, but we're arpeggiating the notes. We're playing the notes, individually instead of together as a chord. Can I get my volume turned on? Wherever you have an A minor 7 chord at. But, so like I said, we're arpeggiating the notes, and they're hidden all throughout our pentatonic scale. And I like minor 7s because they're just very convenient to our pentatonic. You can obviously get more complex chords if you want. But the first one I started out with just like a normal pentatonic lick. You might not even realize that you were actually playing a minor 7 arpeggio, essentially, when you're doing this. When you do that little lick, there's a reason why that sounds so good if you're over like an A minor riff. Say this is a riff. Then he goes to C, and then it'll go to G or whatever. There's a reason why this lick sounds so good. Basically, if you just did this, that's actually an A minor chord. That's our 3 essential notes to make up an A minor. We have an A, a C, and an E. That's your root, your minor third, and your 5th. Now, to make a minor 7, we need to add exactly what it says, our minor 7 note. So out of the key of A minor, that would be a G note. So that is why my phone is just gonna keep going off. Thanks a lot, Sean. So basically what we need to do is we need to add a G note. Now I like minor 7 chords or like major 7, add 9, all that stuff because it's a 4-note chord versus 3. It opens up a lot more possibilities for us as players. I'm speaking so terribly today. Let's roll with it. So here's what we have going on here. Now remember the notes I said, A, C, E, and then G is our minor 7. So we need to add a G note. So when I look through this lick, let's see exactly what I'm playing. I'm playing an E note, then I go to a G, then I go to an A, then I go to a C. Perfect. Now, they don't need to be in any particular order. I just need to have those 4 notes. So this is technically an A minor 7, arpeggio. So that's why when you play that C or that A chord, that riff, even if you're in a power chord, the minor 7 sounds great because your power chord isn't too complex. Now, a typical move for someone, and we're not going to really cover this too much because I'm not trying to get too theory-based on you, but is whenever we move up, you go to the C chord, our instinct might be to go to this next kind of like box 2. And it totally works, and it sounds great. But to understand what's happening is we're actually playing a C major chord. So I'm going to outline it like this. Oh, sorry. So when I have my major third of my C chord in here now, that E note. So it will sound even stronger. So if I have that riff, and I'm going like this, You know, I think that sounds better to me anyways. That's why I like that sound. That's the first one. Now once you have that down, then we're going to expand it here with example number 2. Alright, so example number 2 is something I talk about all the time with students and in videos. I did a video on sweeping about this exact topic, which is this combination. I either do a 2-note one, I call it 2-note 1-note or 1-note 2-note, depending on what chord I'm outlining. But this is essentially the shape we have here for the next one. So we're kind of borrowing. Oh, that was a bad one. There we go. We're basically kind of playing box 1 and borrowing a note out of box. So here's what we have going on. I'm going from the 5th fret on the G, which is a C note. So, okay, it's a good note. We need that. That's our minor third. Now I'm going to go and I hammer on to 9 on the G, which is our E note, which is our 5th. Then we're going to go to that 10th fret on the B string. That's our G note again, so we know that's our minor 7. 5th fret on the high E string, which is our A note. Good old root. And then I'm just playing another C note here. So that's another minor third. Okay, so there is our minor 7 chord. Boom, right inside of our pentatonic. Again, hidden, kind of like in plain sight for us. Okay, and to me that's a cool sound. I like that, the way it flows. And there are a lot more that we're going to be getting into. But that's just kind of like, so now we have a whole new way of playing that minor 7. This one was kind of, to me, small sounding. You know, that's more like a lick kind of thing. And this is more like, okay, this sounds like an arpeggio. It just covers more ground, more intervals and stuff like that. So we're going to take this and we're actually going to be moving it through all 5 pentatonic boxes. And I'll show you where they all are on the top 3 strings. All right, so we're kicking in the key of A, of course. Rock and roll key of dreams. Ow! And we are going to be playing our box 5 of our pentatonic scale now. So if you can visualize box 5, if you see it, you can dream. Or if you dream it, you can do it. If you see it, you can play it. Video gets lamer by the second. So here's what's happening here. Again, we need to find A, C, E, and G. Find them anywhere on your fingerboard. And you got yourself a good old minor 7, A minor 7 arpeggio. So we're going to go 2nd fret on the G, which is the A note, hammering on to 5th fret on the B. Now I roll my finger down to that 5th fret on the B, because that's our E note. We need that note. Okay, so we have A, C, E. So that's just A minor so far. We need 3rd fret on the high E. We got to get that minor 7 in there. That's our G. Then you go to 5th fret on the high E. So we have... I really suck at rolling my finger across the string, so those are always a little bit rough for me. So there's our new one we have. Now we know that this one is going to connect perfectly with the one we just did a minute ago. That was out of box 5. Well, here we go up to box 1. Okay, I'm not going to really cover this one because we did it in the last one. So that's just... And none of these notes are not in the pentatonic scale. Everything we're playing is strictly the 5 notes that are given to us in the pentatonic scale. So next we're moving up here. There we go. I was like, I forgot it for a second. We're gonna go 9 to 12 on the G. That's our E note going to the G. So we've already got our minor 7. We're going from our 5th to our minor 7. Then we go to 10 on the B. That's your A note. That's your root. We're gonna go to 8 on the high E string. That's your C note, minor 3rd, and then getting another E note. Just another 5th. So you can always have multiples of these notes. You know, doubles, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you're sticking to those 4. And if anything, the more G's you could add to this, the more you're emphasizing the minor 7. You know, sound of it. But there's our next one. Oh, sorry. So now we move up here to this one. This was kind of tricky because it has a very C sound. But it's still technically A minor 7 with the notes that we're using. So we're going to go 12, and I'm always doing hammer on. I go 12 hammer on 14. So that's our G note. So now we're starting with our minor 7. We go G to 12 to 14, getting our root. That's an A note. Then we go to 13 on the B. That's our C note. 12 on the high E. That's a good old E. And then I get another G note here on that 15th fret on the high E string. Okay. Again, if you looked at your pentatonic box 4, we are doing nothing, you know, other than playing our pentatonic scale. And if you really think about it, we're using 4 of the 5 notes. We're using almost all of our notes of the pentatonic scale and just outlining one chord. So we have, again, now we're up to our octaves of the first one we did. So we're back in box 5. We're gonna go 14 to 17 on the G. Then I roll my finger to 17 on the B. Then I go to 15 on the high E string, and then 17 on the high E string. Pull it off, and descend. Now, as far as the way I'm picking these and stuff, that's gonna be more dependent on you. Some people are gonna wanna pick every single note. I've mentioned it in other videos. I utilize a lot more hammer-ons and pull-offs in my way of playing them. Okay, and then we're back at our octave of the first one, which would just be 17 to 21, 20, and then 15, 20. I'm sorry, 17, 20. Get to those higher frets, I can't see them. Okay, so all together. So basically, you could link these together. You know, you could kind of go, some way. You know, I do this stuff a lot whenever I'm playing and outline something. I'm doing minor 7 and stuff like that. All right, so I'm gonna leave you guys off with a nice little challenge here, because the best way that you can practice any of this stuff is go find your own versions of these arpeggios in the other boxes, because there's so many I haven't even showed you. We've covered a lot, but there's a lot more of them out there. So I'm going to show you guys this now. We're going to go. And what I'm doing here exactly is I'm using 3 different, A minor 7 kind of octaves almost. So it's not exact octaves. It's just the way that kind of the notes carry, I should say. So we're going to go like this: 5 to 8 on the low E string, then 7 on the A, 5, 7 on the D. Pull it off, then you go 7, 8. So again, that's A, C, E, G, A. Minor 3rd, 5th, minor 7, root. Okay, now what I do is I connect it to another one that we didn't cover until now, but I slide up. So I'm sliding from this E note up to a C. So then I go, and that's all on the D string, then I go to 9 on the G. Then I go 8, 10 on the B. So that is going from a G note to an A. Minor 7 right there. So we have. Okay, now I think in the actual lick I might have went like this. I did it twice. I think I did. So slide up. Then I go to 9, 8, 10. So again, I'm just doing the same thing. 7 to 10, 9, 8, 10. Pull off to that 8, 9, 10, and I go 7, and I do it again. So, and here I go, which is 9 to 12 on the G, 10 on the B, and then I'm going 8 to 12 on the high string. Pulling off the 8, 10, 12, 9, and then 10 again on the B. And there you have it. So there's your final one. That one will be a nice little challenge for you. Again, the way I'm picking it is I'm sweeping it, but I'm doing a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. If you really want to know about my style of picking this one, go watch my video about sweep picking that I just posted. I can't remember what it's called. Alright, that is going to be it for us here today. Like I said before, make sure you get the tabs if you want to follow along with all that stuff. You can pick up the fretboard decoder. That is also down there, linked up for you, coming in hot. And don't forget to leave a comment, #SadForGab, because she's on the other side of the studio now. Woo! And until next time, I'll be seeing you all later. Let's giddy up and go.